Sam Jones put it on Twitter that Pat Brown's done 2,000 tickets already. Where does this support come from for someone making their professional debut?
Mate, he's insane, and these types of fighters or popularity, they come few and far between. No one can really put the finger on why it happens, and maybe when you look back, you sort of look at someone like Frank Bruno or Ricky Hatton, and they end up becoming these sort of cult heroes to local communities. And I think there's the idea is probably like the relatable, normal sort of down to earth, humble people. He's a nice kid. He can really fight. There's loads of little ingredients, but there's that one thing what stands out or makes everyone interested in it. You can't really put your finger on it, but whatever it is, Pat seems to have it, and he's doing tickets like I've never seen before.
How much of your job then do you think over the next year, 18 months, because when you've got a red hot ticket seller, there's going to be big TV dates, there's going to be headlining, but then you're in the business of developing a fighter, and sometimes those two things can work against each other. Is that, I suppose it's a nice problem to have, but is that something you anticipate having to overcome in the next while?
I've been involved in this game for 25 years now, so in terms of knowing how to navigate all the different types of situations, I feel like I've come across it and I've seen how it should be done. Or Ricky Hatton, real good mate of mine, and he was at the top end of the game. And looking at the way he navigated all those different types of situations and still remained with his feet on the ground is one of his best attributes, I believe. And I think that's one of the main jobs we've got to do for Pat, is to make sure that we get the most out of his potential as coaches. We advise him in the right way in terms of making sure that his decision making is right. But he's a very mature man, Pat. He knows what he wants. It'll be very difficult for him to get carried away because he's a humble guy. So I don't feel like it's going to be a difficult job, but every now and again you get a spanner through in the works, and you have to just sort of ad-lib and do what you need to do. But I'm excited to get the journey started. He sparred yesterday, and believe me, when he sets out the blocks and he gets his career going, everyone's going to take notice.
Yeah, I watched Dave Allen done a video on his YouTube talking about sparring him, and yeah, sounds like we're in for a treat. Just word on Jack Catterall fighting Arnold Barboza next week, obviously. It's a headline fight, it's a big fight against one of the best super lightweights in the world, but it's still not that world title fight. Do you think this is the last hurdle before Jack gets that world title shot?
It should be, and in all honesty, it's for the interim world title, and I can't ever see Teofimo Lopez fighting at super lightweight again. So if that's the case, and he doesn't, then Jack's going to get upgraded to the full world champion, which is not ideal, exactly, but for all intents and purposes, I'm 90% sure that that's going to happen, which means really this is for the vacant title, and it should be. They should have stripped him for his uncertainty. They should have made this for the vacant title, and if he decides to fight at the weight again, then Jack's got to fight him next. That's how it should have gone, I believe. But listen, here's what it is. We are where we are, and Jack is ready. He's just had his last big day today. He's probably in the best form I've ever seen him, and that's a statement, because I've seen him, perform in the gym so many times, and he's always been in great form, but he really, really is peaking.
Arnold Barboza, whilst not a household name, certainly in the east side of the shores, definitely no mug, coming off a good win over Jose Ramirez. What sort of test are you expecting Barboza to pose for Jack?
Listen, the sternest test, because for him, it's his biggest fight of his life as well. But I've said it many, many times about Jack. He's so adaptive, he adjusts his style to whoever's put in front of him, and Barboza is a solid fighter. He's not really exceptionally good at one thing or the other, he's just solid all-round fighter. So Jack's going to have to go in there, have a look at him, work him out, and then break him down. But I believe that his style is made for he's sort of the perfect blend for Jack to be able to perform to the best of his ability. And I've seen the advert what they've done about him being boring. Yeah, it was a great bit of work. I think Eddie and Sam put their heads together and they come up with a genius plan there. But I think it'll turn out on his head, because the way Barboza fights and the way Jack's performing, I don't think it can be anything but a cracking fight.
Just a couple of quick ones, Jamie, I'll let you go. This monster, February 22nd card, creeping ever closer. Just first fight, I want to get your thoughts on Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker. Interesting face-off between them. We're seeing this new Daniel Dubois. What's your read on the fight? Who do you think wins?
Listen, Dubois is improving all the time, and over the last 2 years, since I don't know, I think it was 18 months, 2 years when he fought Usyk. The development what he's brought on, and he shows you how much experience is so important in people's careers. He's always been out of punch, but now he's been a bit smarter with it. He's cleverer with it. Parker's having that Indian summer where he's turned his career around, and he's got a lot of experience under his belt, and he's got a type of style where I believe it could give Dubois problems, because he's very good with his feet. He's got a good jab. He avoided getting engaged with Anthony Joshua for 12 rounds, and he's a lot more experienced fighter now than he was then. So he's got confidence at the minute. So it's a great fight. If it was just going purely off current form, you'd have to go with Dubois, but I would not be surprised at all if Parker pulls it off.
And a fight that been a long time in the making. Chris Eubank Jr, Conor Benn, splitting opinion as you could expect amongst the boxing world. Are you looking forward to it?
Listen, I'm looking forward to it purely from nostalgia point of view. I grew up loving boxing in the 90s, and Nigel Benn was my hero. I went to Old Trafford and watched the rematch when I was 14 years old. So I don't want to disrespect the lads, who are taking part in the fight now, but a lot of it is based on the dads, and again, I've said it many a times. It's a hard sport. This, if you can get a fight, if you're at the right place at the right time, and you can earn a hell of a lot of money, then take it, because there's not a lot of opportunities that will come up in this sport where you can earn that type of money. So I take me out to the lads. If they can get it, why not?
Last one, I spoke to Dave Allen yesterday at the GBM press conference. He said this Johnny Fisher's rematch all but done. From your perspective, are you surprised that the Fisher side are taking it? I know Sam Jones is just down there, so we need to be quiet.
Yeah, not at all, in all honesty. Johnny Fisher, the big question going into the fight with Dave was, one of them was, if Dave rolls back the years, is he going to have the minerals to be able to get through a fight like that? And he answered it, with flying colours, and then tried to do it in another 12, 18 months' time. But they're both willing to do it, and let's go and do it. Why not?
Dave said it's going to be a mismatch and it's not going to be pretty. Do you agree with that?
Dave knows what he's doing. He's been around this game a long time. I agree that Dave's going to win, without a doubt, because I know Dave inside out. We've been working with each other now for 5 years, and he's got a look in his eye at the minute which I've never seen before, where he's got like a glow about him, where he's, for the first time, he's understanding and believing how good he can actually be. So in all honesty, that's a scary predicament for people to sort of look at and go, listen, he's never really performed, Dave, and he'll admit that himself. But I'll tell you what, his mindset's in the right place now, and for instance, if they made that fight for in 10 weeks' time from the starting point now, he'd be twice as good as he was last time.
Buzzing for it, Jamie Moore. Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Top man. Appreciate the time, Jamie.